So let us begin our service now with the prelude for ingathering. Everyone has been muted. And as we listen to our ingathering music, an African American hymnal performed at the Unitarian Universalist congregation in San Francisco, I invite you to use the chat box to let us know where you're Zooming from, and also one thing that helps you rest.
Somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush. Somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Like justice, somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice, somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice, somebody's calling my name. Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Glad trouble don't last always. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. Oh, my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our community worship with the UU Congregation of Charlottesville. I'm Haley Owens, your worship leader today, and I'm so glad to welcome you all into our virtual sanctuary. Our physical sanctuary was built in 1950 on hilltop land acquired by the church after World War II. For centuries before us, this land has been the dwelling place of the Monacan people. Later, this land was part of plantations of the Norris family and then Rugby, who each enslaved African Americans for labor and profit. We name this history so that we can stay alert to contributing to a different future. And in that spirit, we celebrate yesterday's events in which local statues were taken down. One more correction of so many painful and deadly wrongs. For this morning's worship, thank you to our tech crew, Sean Scally and Bailey Reed, and for the musical gifts of Scott DeVoe and the video artistry of Ellie Ransom. The theme for our service today is rest. So please hear now our opening words by the Reverend Richard Gilbert. We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest.
Who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid.
We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart.
Who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous.
We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new faith.
Who come to probe and explore, who come to learn.
We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as a homecoming.
Who have found room here for your spirit, who find in this people a family.
Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey,
we bid you welcome.
Come the font of every blessing, tune our hearts to sing the grace, streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise, while the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts with joy and love. Teach us ever to be faithful, may we still thy goodness prove. Come thou font of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb dwell together in thy home. Hear the cries of what fall silent, feel our love glow like the sun. When we all serve one another, then our heaven is begun.
I am delighted to light our chalice live this morning. So I'm offering you these words from Charles A. Howe. We light this chalice to affirm that new light is ever waiting to break through to enlighten our ways. Maybe also enlighten. That new truth is ever waiting to break through to illuminate our minds. That new love is ever waiting to break through to warm our hearts. May we be open to this light and to the rich possibilities that it brings us.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with the vision, clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Blessed Spirit of my life, Spirit of blessed Spirit of my life. Whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Blessed Spirit of my life.
Well, good morning, everyone. As we settle into this service that is about rest, I would like to share with you 3 things that I have gained from the yoga tradition that help me. So, and help me at times when I'm trying to go from activity into rest. So the first one, if you want to play along with me here, is to take your hands and to rub them together so that you're creating warmth. And as you continue to build up warmth in your hands, I'm going to show you that you have this raised part on the outside of your palm and this indentation in the middle. And in a moment, you can put that over your eye socket. And whenever you're ready, try letting that warmth warm your forehead, your temples, and the darkness allows your eyeballs to rest. So as you try that, see if you can relax in to the warmth and the rest for your eyes. And take about 2 or 3 breaths here, allowing rest for your visual field. And then whenever you feel ready, let your eyes stay closed, but return your hands to your lap or wherever. Notice if you're aware of light, even from behind your eyelids. And then very slowly open your eyes and notice what it's like for your eyes to return from rest to activity. The second tool from the yoga tradition, if you want to try this with me, is lift your shoulders up, big breath in, and then a big sigh. Try it again. Big breath in, shoulders up, big open mouth sigh. Last time, shoulders up. And the final tool I'd like to show you, I really like it because I can do it in stealthy ways if I'm in a meeting or if I'm standing in line at the grocery store. And it goes like this. You take your thumb to your forefinger and then slide it down and back up. And we're going to match that to the breath. So breathe in as you slide your thumb to the base of your forefinger, and breathe out as you slide it back. And then go to the next finger. Breathe in as you slide it down. Breathe out as you slide it back. And then go to the next finger. Breathe in as you slide it down. Breathe out as you slide it back. And then the pinky finger, breathing in as you slide it down. Breathing out as you slide it back. And I invite you now to take 4 more breaths on your own without me narrating. And if you're finding it hard to curl your finger, you can just take your opposite and slide it down and back up. Take some time to experiment with that. I hope these tools are helpful to you and that you can find times to use them or to share them with people of all ages around you when they are trying to transition from activity to rest.
Thank you, Alex. I invite you now into a space of offering and gift giving. Together, we are actively building a community that shares, is sensitive to each other's needs, and makes space for all that is important. Over the last year, I have felt so supportive by the non-hierarchical structure of this community. I'm of the opinion that the more members' voices in the pulpit sharing their experiences, the better. And I feel that many agree with this in our shared passion for making space for all perspectives. It is a great gift to be given the space to speak your truth, as well as a gift to receive the truth as a listener. This is just one example of the sharing and receiving that we practice here. As each person brings their unique gifts and passions, our congregation also needs monetary gifts to support our staff, our physical space, the initiatives we believe in, our wider community, and to prepare for the future. We are so grateful for these gifts of money that help put your love into action in this community. So please join me in dedicating the offering now, saying these words. We accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, yeah, sing with me, sing with me, oh me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Speak for me, speak for me, speak for me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, oh my soul.
To help set the tone for the sermon on rest, please listen to this reading written by Nancy Wood. My help is in the mountain where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people give to me. I find a rock with sun on it and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees which one by one give me company. So I must stay for a long time until I have grown from the rock and the stream is running through me, and I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me, nor makes me run away. My help is in the mountain that I take away with me.
Thank you so much, Haley. This morning, our topic is rest, and I'm going to start out with a general definition that I'm hoping most folks would agree with, or I'm guessing most folks would agree with, that rest could be defined as a break from activity. So conversely, activity would be defined as a break from rest. And then another opening generalization that I'm hoping or guessing is a general shared understanding is that rest could mean sleeping, or it could mean being awake, but in a restful state. And finally, starting with a given that different people find rest in different ways. So with this groundwork in place, this sharings that I'm going to give this morning come from my sabbatical, and I am so grateful to this congregation for the sabbatical. Thank you very much. But it gave me a lot of time to reflect on rest and to notice myths that I was holding in my mind and that I believe some other folks might hold. So I'm going to tackle these 3 myths this morning with the hope that by the end of the sermon, you may have gained a new angle of insight that helps you. The first myth I'd like to tackle is, you should rest so that you can work some more. This myth refers to, for example, a nurse leaving work saying, I'm going to go home and sleep so I can come back tomorrow. Or a parent saying, I better sleep so I can get up and do it all over again. And similar examples. Now, clearly there are truths mixed into this myth. Yes, certainly, a nurse needs to rest before administering medications and touching other people. Yes, certainly, a parent needs to rest so they can help their child off to school in the morning with clarity and care. There are many truths about needing to be clear-headed and needing to get essential things done. But I'd like to make a distinction here about rest and activity on a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum is sheer exhaustion. On the other end of the spectrum is glowing vitality. And I'm going to posit that many people in our US culture right now operate around the middle, both in their rest and in their activity. In other words, perhaps we as a culture have become accustomed to rest as just the absence of tiredness. In other words, getting just enough sleep to get up and go again might not be the same as being truly deeply rested. Many people long for that rest and cannot get it, and I will address that in a minute. But for now, let me challenge the assumption that rest doesn't have value in and of itself. It certainly does. Consider this image. If exhaustion is a deep hole, and if sleep allows a person to find their way out of the hole, then additional rest begins to take on a new quality and allows a person to actually stand up and look around at what is beyond the deep hole of exhaustion. And from that broad seeing perspective, a person can make wise choices and is less likely to fall into another deep hole of exhaustion. Therefore, healthy rest begets healthy rest. And after this sermon, we will hear a hymn about the value of simply taking time to enjoy quiet moments observing life around you. So if healthy rest begets healthy rest, then planning rest is just as important as planning activities. Now, if you're the kind of person who keeps a calendar, maybe you already do this, perhaps you already block out times for rest as well as time for commitment. Or let me say that, commitment to activities as well as commitment to rest. I've heard a phrase that has helped me very much, and it's called living life with margins. So the image here is of a piece of paper. And for those of us who grew up using notebook paper, there were the blue lines across, and then down the side was a pink line. And then there were white edges on all four edges. And we were, at least I was taught in school, you write on the lines and you leave space around the edges so that your eyes can have some freedom, so that you don't punch holes through what you wrote, so the teacher can write things in the margins. But in other words, when we leave margins, both on the paper or in life, it allows space for important things. For example, in the course of one's day, if they leave time for digesting after a meal, or for greeting a fellow human with a sincere smile on the way to go somewhere. So these margins can be large or small. They could be a minute or a day or a week. I have heard a poem, and I don't know the attribution. This anonymous poem summarizes the philosophy. It says, "Eat before you are hungry, drink before you are thirsty, sleep before you are tired, and love before you are lonely." So the first point I want to leave with you, rest is valuable in and of itself. Rest is part of a healthy spiritual life. The second myth I'd like to tackle is you shouldn't rest unless everyone else also has access to rest. So like most myths, this stems from bits of truth about the world. It is so true that in our world, many people simply cannot find the time, place, or medical help to rest. Consider the home health aide who comes home from work to care for his own sick child. Consider the person incarcerated who does not feel safe closing her eyes. Consider an elder who does not have access to health care and is too overwhelmed with pain to rest. Yes, it is true that as part of the human family, we have an obligation to help others get their basic needs met. So to explore this further, I'd like to share with you insights from a person named Randy Woodley. So Randy Woodley wrote an article called An Indigenous Theological Perspective on Sabbath. Randy Woodley is descended from Kituwa Cherokee. He identifies as an Indigenous person, and I'm sorry, I don't know if he identifies as he, but Randy Woodley identifies as an Indigenous person and is also a professor at a Christian seminary. When I read the article, I marveled at the interwoven nature of rest and generosity. So Randy Woodley explains that in the rituals of the Cherokee people, some of the Cherokee people have an annual festival of green corn moon. They prepare by planning time to prepare. They clean out possessions that they no longer use and give them to others in need. They set aside time for contemplation before celebration. Randy Woodley laments that as settlers arrived in this place that we call the United States, the balance of the Cherokee lifestyle was interrupted, and the Cherokee themselves, some of them began to consume more than their share of the herbs and animals. Randy Woodley writes, "People can cross a line that moves us outside the natural Sabbath shalom living and into abuse, into a lifestyle of abuse that leads to destruction. It is because of the abuse of living things that we need markers that call us to stop and think about how we are living. We Cherokee had numerous ceremonies, stories, and festivals that marked and celebrated those times that led to a consistent lifestyle of Sabbath Shalom Jubilee." So in the words of the article, those three words that I see as distinct are written together with backslashes: Sabbath Shalom Jubilee. And what that indicates to me is that there is not a distinction, not a separation between rest, peace, and celebration. The point that I take away from this is that we need to regularly rebalance the excesses in our lives, whether that is excess activity or excess wealth or even excess rest. And so I ask you now, how much is enough rest before you dive in again to justice-seeking work? How much rest would become lax or self-indulgent? The answer to that, my friends, lies in your own wisdom and discernment, which means staying aware of the balance of rest and action. And that is where spiritual practices come in. And next week, the Reverend Linda, during Sunday service, is going to talk more about spiritual practices. I've heard the saying, live simply that others may simply live. And today I wonder if I might offer a twist on that. Just as a person can commit to live simply that others may simply live, how about committing to rest simply that others may simply rest? The statues that came down yesterday came down because of years of effort. And during that time, the people working toward that goal needed to find ways to refresh themselves. The second point I want to leave you with: when you are rested, you are likely to be more effective at changing systems of inequity that deny everyone access to renewal and rest. So the third myth that I'd like to tackle is that rest is the absence of energy. When I was in seminary, a friend of mine was studying Asian spirituality. She told me about a perspective that she found very helpful. In this worldview, the new day begins when a person lies down to rest in the evening. She noted how this is different from how she had been raised here in the United States, that a new day began with sunrise and rising from her bed. So my friend experimented with viewing going to sleep at night as the beginning of a new day. And after a few weeks, she found that she prepared for rest with much more respect, and that her life felt more restful overall. And as a result of my friend's experience, I approached my sabbatical in a similar way. When I began my sabbatical this past winter, many people asked me what I would do on my sabbatical. Some wondered if I might be traveling or other activities, and I answered, the first activity of my sabbatical will be sleep. I said that after I'd slept, then I would know better how to spend my time. And what I learned was that I needed to spend more time sleeping. And then I decided to keep on sleeping until the desire to sleep had passed. I began to notice that the sleep had different qualities, and the waking had different qualities. As the exhaustion wore off, the waking came with a sense of ease and vitality. I saw more and more clearly the distinction between having slept and being renewed. It reminded me of a wise elder who used to ask me in the mornings, have you had a restorative sleep? So allow me to explore this through the metaphor of music. If music were a whole bunch of sounds mashed together, we might not find it nourishing. But there's a special term in music called rest. A rest is silent. When a composer writes music, they put in a rest between the notes so that there will be times where there is absence of sound. Just like the notes that make sound can be of different lengths, such as a whole note, a half note, a quarter note, and so on, so also a rest can be for those different lengths. In music, the rest has fullness and purpose because it allows the listener or musician to more clearly experience what came before and what will come next. The third point I'd like to leave you with is that rest is a process and can be full of vitality. So in closing, I am grateful to this congregation for the opportunity to take a sabbatical this past winter. I am glad to have this opportunity this morning to share these insights about rest that I gained. My sincere wish for all of us and all people is that we can shift our culture so that rest is available to all people, and that all people will allow themselves to rest in ways that are truly nourishing. Looking ahead, I am already crafting the sermon that I will share with you on the second Sunday in August, with theological observations about the spiritual life of this congregation over the past 11 years that I've journeyed with you in an official ministry role. And on August 29, the plan is for me to preach my last sermon in this current role, in which I'll look back at the blessings of journeying with you over the past 11 years and what I wish for you as you go forward. I hope you'll be there. Peace and blessed be.
What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare, no time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in the broad daylight streams full of stars like stars at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. A poor life this, if full of care. We have no time to stand and stare.
As you go out into the world, may the spirit of water help you flow to both action and rest. May the spirit of earth help you feel grounded and calm. May the spirit of fire give you energy to dance and work. May the spirit of air remind you of the balance of inhales and exhales. As this service comes to a close, our chalice is extinguished. Blessed be. Go in peace.